there any way you could, any realistic or legitimate way in your mind you could see Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
Shakur Stevenson was recently spotted at Gervonta Davis's camp training alongside Tank's team, just days after rumors surfaced that he sparred lightly with Jake Paul in Puerto Rico. Rumors he denied, saying he's only helping the best man win without revealing whose side is on.
You blame a man for taking that opportunity because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family. Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that. Like,
okay.
It just depends. Like, as a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But
sources say Shakur's visit to Gervonta Davis's camp wasn't casual. He observed training, offered advice to draw Jake Paul into overcommitting, and discussed strategy with Calvin Ford, who seemed fine with Shakur's presence despite his ties to Jake.
The only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying?
Shakur advised Calvin Ford that Tank should attack the body early and exploit Jake Paul's predictable straight rights. His visit drew attention since he reportedly sparred with Jake beforehand, something Jake's team calls mutual respect work but hasn't denied.
Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in, some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're going to hit up Erickson Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just going to bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty southpaws.
Shakur said Tank should have rematched Lamont Roach after their draw, noting he'd do it to prove himself, but admitted it might not make business sense before a big Jake Paul fight.
Paul brings something to media and to boxing. You cannot miss a fight. I like it, baby. I like the drama it's bringing, I'll be honest.
But nobody really cares about this fight.
Yeah, are you going to watch it?
Yeah, of course. That's how it's going to go. Nobody really cares, but everybody's going to watch it. Like,
he said, nobody cares.
Shakur explained it as a battle between business sense and a fighter's pride, saying he doesn't hate Tank's choice but believes pride plays a part. He suggested Tank might doubt beating Roach in a rematch, which, along with retirement rumors, made the Jake Paul fight more about money than legacy, a final run before hanging up the gloves.
Jake is big, Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
Shakur called the Jake Paul fight a money move, sparking controversy since he's been seen at Tank's gym. His timing raised eyebrows, while Jake fueled the hype after Terence Crawford labeled the bout insane.
Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank.
Jake Paul called the fight insane, saying his size makes it a true 50-50th matchup. Despite Crawford's shock, Paul said the unpredictability makes it a real test, not just a show fight.
I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. What do you
Jake Paul said he'd definitely fight Terence Crawford, noting his moving toward real boxing names. Canelo is a future goal, but for now, his focus is on Tank on November 14th.
Looking good in this. I don't know how it is. It looks to me David and Goliath, but David got skill and Goliath doesn't, but I don't know how it's going to work out. But for some reason, it winds up being a really fun event, and it has tons and tons of viewers, millions and millions and millions of viewers. When Gervonta Davis goes back to his...
Former champ Shannon Briggs, who once trained Jake Paul, called the November 14th Paul vs. Davis fight great for boxing, saying he knew early on Jake would bring something special to the sport.
92-pound weight difference, almost 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at 200 pounds. It's still a 65-pound weight advantage. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers,
Briggs praised Jake Paul for building his own fan base and mastering boxing's business side, saying the big one is coming his way, a view shared by many in the sport. Trainer Robert Garcia said Jake Paul knows how to sell fights but believes Tank hasn't earned this matchup, noting legends like Mayweather and Ali did exhibitions only after major achievements.
Fight is scheduled and everybody's going to watch it. So with all the eyes on it, there's only one result that is going to be of satisfactory. Only one result. And that is if Tank knocks out Jake. That's the only result.
Garcia and Stevenson agree Tank now chases big paydays over legacy fights, citing the missed Roach rematch as proof, a stance fueling tension among fighters who see the Jake Paul bout as a cash grab. New footage shows Jake Paul training seriously for Davis, working with top sparring partners and focusing on conditioning, defense, and feints. Observers say Jake's camp is loud and public, while Tank's is focused and sharp. Asked why he took the fight, Davis simply said, "I take the money and leave."
It's Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. I know on Instagram you called it a circus.
Yeah, boxing is slowly turning into the WWE. That's what I think.
Does Tank Davis have a chance?
Yes, but
yeah?
I don't even want to talk about it. Don't ask me questions like that again.
For many, Davis's words reflect his mindset, pure business, not legacy. "It's no lose. I take the money and leave," he said, making it clear the Jake Paul fight is more about profit than competition. The 65-pound gap makes the fight an exhibition. Lamont Roach wasn't surprised, posting "Told you" after months of silence from Davis's team, though he continues to train while sidelined. Ryan Garcia doubted the fight would happen, calling the 65-pound gap unrealistic. Joking later, he said, "If it does happen, I'm betting on the heavyweight," citing size and physics over skill.
Gio's World Facts. That's why Tank wants to fight Jake Paul. I'm telling you, he want to fight Jake Paul because he know if he climb in the ring with Shakur Stevenson, he's going to get zapated.
Jake Paul, training full-time since beating Chavez Jr., became a box office star after defeating Mike Tyson and now finally gets his shot at an active elite champion in Gervonta Davis. The fight will likely be at cruiserweight with adjusted rules, expected to draw huge streaming numbers. Netflix calls it the perfect follow-up, and Davis admits he's taking the money. Not all boxers believe it's a harmless technique. The current WBO champion, Teofimo Lopez, who has also been associated with Davis for a long time, told KO Artist Sports that Tank's legacy is unaffected by the fight. Not in his view, anyway. Tank Jake will be gone in less than a month. Let the best man lose. Lopez made a joke. No, it has no bearing on his legacy. It will just affect his finances.
He's a marketing genius, but when it comes to people that pick and lose fights, I can't get my head around it. If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep. He'll have a lot of smoke going up backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit for real, 10 ounce, well, until the 16-ounce gloves, not like an exhibition. Right. Until it's big gloves and head guards, he's going to...
Fans see Davis's fight as part of his trend of choosing easy, high-paying bouts, with no title defense planned before 2026 and a clear focus on money over legacy. Davis, planning to retire by 2025, sees the Paul exhibition and payday as a final run. He's still motivated to train but less tolerant of boxing politics. Paul is treating the exhibition like a real fight, working with Tyson camp coaches to build explosiveness and mimic Davis's style against smaller, faster opponents. Davis's camp has been quiet and focused, with Netflix expecting record streams and Atlanta's gate over $20 million. Since his 5-word tweet, he's stayed silent while Paul calls it the new era of boxing, sparking debate across the sport.